Hi YouTubers, hi, I'm back with the 24 books of 2024. It's actually two books in one. It's like two novellas, but anyway, they came as part of the project, and then Mills and Boon. Yes, I did say, okay, I'm trying to move away from Mills and Boon, but hey, this was 50 pence in a charity shop, so supporting a charity, and now I'm doing two book reviews. Anyway, the compilation is called The Engagement Effect. This one is by Betty Neals, okay, and this is An Ordinary Girl by Betty Neals. Two brand new, tender, and tantalising stories. When Professor James Forsyth meets Philomena Selby, it's love at first sight. But Philly knows James has a fiancée and she can't hope to match just a glamorous woman. But James sees Philly's inner beauty and he's determined to convince her that she'll be the only wife he'll ever have. Okay? Okay, so this is set at a weird point in time. Now I guess 1930s or 1940s. Okay, because people can drive in Bentleys and they live in like villages and stuff like that. So, and it's very genteel. And one thing I generally thought this was an historical one, to see packaged. However, this was written, it's copyrighted by Betty Neals in 2001, which was 23 years ago. That's when this book came out. So 23 years ago, I was in my early 20s, and yes, these people in this novel do not exist. Okay, do not exist. Okay, but this is open up to Philomena Selby. Okay, Philomena Selby, the eldest of the Reverend Ambrose Selby's five daughters, was hanging up sheets. It was a blustery March morning, and since she was a small girl, nicely rounded but slight, she was having difficulty subduing the wild flapping. Okay, so she was a girl with no looks to speak of, but her face was redeemed by from plainness by her eyes, large and brown, fringed by long lashes beneath delicately arched brow, brows. Her hair, tangled by the wind, was blown to straight and fine, tied back with a ribbon, with no thought of fashion. Right. He shook it back now and got mugs of milk and sugar and spooned instant coffee as the mother came into the kitchen. Okay, instant coffee. Oh, that's a luxury brand, having instant coffee. Oh yeah, Kenko. Kenko, darling. Okay. But then, right, she goes to the butcher's and then a Bentley pulls up because they need directions. Okay? And it's the professor. Now, oh, in this book, he is called the professor, born his actual name James. It's the professor went this way, the professor went that way, okay? The professor went to wash his hands. It's like, it's seriously, if I got this book, okay, read it out loud and took a shot, okay, or audible, and took a shot every time the word professor was said, I would have died halfway through this novella. The professor, okay? Here we are. But here you go. Right. But as Philomena gives directions, okay. A car stopped behind a way to never be a house. They got lost. A Bentley. There was a girl, very pretty and dressed like a fashion magazine, and a man driving. Mother, why is it that sometimes one meets someone that they've never met before, and seems as though one has known them always? Right. Miss Zoe bent over the carrots. She said carefully, I don't think it's something which happens often. People don't realise it. If they do, then it's hoped that it may lead to happiness. Okay. And that's because they're going to the Never Be Girl, the eldest one, got engaged. Okay, and there's a wedding coming up. Okay? And, but being the eldest girl, okay, here we are. But the thing is, Philly isn't beautiful. No, Philomena isn't beautiful, no. Okay? Right. There was a comforted Philly when she examined her face in the mirror and wished for blue eyes and the golden hair which framed her sister's pretty faces. But she was now never downcast of her lot. She was content with her lot, helping her mother run the house, helping with the Sunday school, giving a hand at various social functions in the village. She hoped one day she would meet a man who would want to marry her, but her days were too busy for her to spend time daydreaming about that. What does she do all day? Okay, she's like in mid-20s. Okay? She's running a Sunday school. Right? So why don't you have a job, Philomena? An actual job. A proper job. Okay? But the thing is, the car, they can't get back to London, okay, from this party, okay, this engagement party. Right? So they've got to go to the vicarage, okay, and they're all kind of partying together. Loads of people, okay, the vicarage apparently is huge. So everyone is kind of bundled in together, right? And so finally, Philomena and the professor actually properly meet and get talking. Okay, now him and several others are all in this vicarage, right? Here we are. Professor Forsyth out a hand. You are most kind, and we're grateful. My name's Forsyth, James Forsyth. This lady is my fiancée, Miss Sybil West. Okay? And Miss Selby shook hands and turned to Sybil. This is horrid for you. Sybil lifted a lovely wistful face. Yes, I'm so cold and hungry, and we should be in London. If I could go to bed, perhaps I could have a small meal on a tray. Okay? And basically, Sybil's plan, she's the fiancée, who's absolutely beautiful. She just intends, okay, to go up to a hot, warm bedroom, okay, and to be waited on hand and foot because she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful, okay, and okay, and no one's letting her have it, okay, because everyone is piled in together. There's elderly couples. There's a copper who is basically got frozen, so he actually needs a bit more attention, and basically Sybil's basically stamping her foot and having a tantrum about this because she's so beautiful and so used to getting away with her diamond ring, okay? And this bit here, right? I feel quite ill, she told Miss Selby. If I'm not being too much of a nuisance, I do want to go to bed. If I could have a hot bath and just a little supper. Miss Selby looked uncertain, and it was Philly who answered with a friendly firmness. No bath. There'd be enough hot water for us all to wash. I need to go to bed. I'm afraid we wouldn't be able to do anything about your supper for a bit. She smiled, waving a spoon. All these people to feed. But I'm ill. Sybil's voice was lost in a commotion at the door again. Okay? Right. So, yes, so she doesn't get waited on or spoiled or, people falling over, which she's used to, okay, because she's so beautiful. Okay? Oh no. She has to kind of muck in, okay, and basically like share rooms and that kind of stuff. And she's not happy. Okay? And the thing is though, Sybil doesn't really love Professor James, okay, Forsyth. Here you go. And Sybil's sulking as they're getting closer to London, okay? And this bit here, but I did feel ill, and I was also annoyed that no one had the time for poor little me, not even you. And the doctor didn't take his eyes off the road. He said evenly, yes, you did behave badly. Right. But this bit here. Sybil gave him a sidelong glance and saw with disquiet that he wasn't smiling. It wasn't going to be tiresome. She had discovered he could be. He seemed a remoteness at times which was a bit worrying. She's used to being admired and spoiled, and she was so uneasily aware that he did neither, which was a reason for captivating him and when she married him. She didn't love him, but she didn't love anyone but herself. She was ambitious, and he had money, and enjoyed a glowing reputation in his profession, and above all she wanted his unquestioning devotion. Okay, so that's why. She doesn't love him, okay, but, she's, um, but, she's beautiful, okay? And then there's a little subplot going on where Philomena has to get a baby to hospital, baby twist, has proper meningitis, and of course James is the doctor taking care of the baby. Okay? And then when he's dropping her home, okay, he needs to drop her home again whilst baby twist is recovering from meningitis, okay, I couldn't believe this line. I generally thought this was a parody. Right, here you go. The professor turned off the maze of narrow roads that would lead to Never Ditchling. He was enjoying the drive, though he wasn't sure why. Philly, sitting like a mouse beside him and not uttering a word, was nevertheless the ideal companion, for distracting him with thoughts or with questions and trivia chatter. He slowed the car and turned into the vicarage drive, and he gets invited in for a cup of coffee. Oh yes, she's the ideal companion. Philly just sits there, just help a young mother dealing with the trauma of her baby having possible meningitis, okay, sitting there going back to her village quietly, and Jane is like, well, she's the ideal companion. She never opens her mouth. Oh, she never opens her mouth, okay? Okay. And then at the actual Never wedding, okay, which has started off this entire thing, which James and of course Sybil been invited to. Sybil comes down the stairs, okay, dressed in what what she's going to wear, and and the thing is, James has a butler. Professor James has a butler called Jolly. He inherited with the property. That was an inheritance, yes. He actually has a butler called Jolly. Okay, right, yeah, okay. The butler, a sympathetic man, ushered him into a small room and offered coffee, assuring him that Miss Sybil would be down directly. And half an hour later, she did indeed come downstairs. She stood in the doorway, waiting for the president's admiration. Her dress was white, with a vivid green pattern, calculated to catch the eye, but was a new hat that kept him momentarily um, silent. So the dress was white, with a vivid green pattern. How does that work? So it's like a check dress? Is it like a white dress with kind of like a bit of greenery on it? She's wearing white. Hey, only the bride can wear white? Okay, hey. Okay. So in this, right, Philly's not at the wedding, by the way. She's taking care of the kids, okay, the nieces and nephews and that kind of thing. And James at like the big house, and James goes to visit her, and they're both cleaning up a baby together and that kind of stuff. And they're talking and they're bonding, and Philly's just so nice. She's just too goddamn nice. And I found Philomena so frustrating, so frustrating. Right, okay, is is when her sister Katie basically says you've got no chance with the professor. Okay, is this bit here. Remember that he's to marry Sybil. He hasn't had much opportunity. She hasn't had much opportunity to meet people, men as you and your sister have had. I'm not quite sure she thinks of him as a friend and nothing more. Okay? He's a sensible girl, long past teenage daydreams. But I did embarrass her making a joke of a casual acquaintance, which you probably will never see again. Right? I'm afraid we've taken Philly for granted. Perhaps we can arrange for her to meet more people, young people. I'm ashamed to own that I always thought that Philly was content to stay here with the in the village. But of course she needs society, which she would have if she had a job and met other people. Okay? There's court of assent that she could just go away and stay with someone. Doesn't have to be a job. She would hate that after village life. Don't we know anyone she could visit? So all her sisters are out in the world and they're working, and some are married and are making their own lives. Whilst Philly, mid-20s, by the way, is Philly would hate a job. She's too used to village life. What, there's no libraries, or there's no place nearby, there's no shops, there's no schools, actual schools she could become a teacher. Okay, oh, Philly, oh no, Philomena, she can't have a job. No, she can't have a job whatsoever. But what she does is stay with a family friend, and then she sees James, the professor, okay, and over a pottery exhibition, okay, it's very interesting. Is pottery, right? Pottery exhibition, and word of this, okay, of James and Philly actually getting on is filtering back to Sybil, who'd actually gone abroad at this time, okay, and it's been here. The following week, the Lows came back. Oh, she was basically watching an aunt and then enjoying London. And Philly was driven home, clasping a t-shirt, in emblazoned with American slogans, which she didn't think would go down well in Never Ditchling. What does it say? FCUK. American slogans. I want to know which American slogans. Okay, Coca-Cola. Okay, it has Coca-Cola. Right. There you go. Oh. So, but it turns out that what Philomena does is set her cousin Gregory, okay, who's got a broken leg, onto Philomena to get the attention of him. Basically, they're kind of meet cute where Gregory with a broken leg knocks on the door like near directions, meets Philomena, and kind of gets the attention of Philomena as that's courting her, so then Sybil can have Professor James Forsyth, and all live happily ever after. Okay, and but the thing is, okay, when Professor James, hears about this, the professor actually starts with the professor. Okay, wasn't upset. He was an Italian rage, taking an instant dislike to Gregory and to his air possessiveness each time he spoke or looked to Philly. For a decent fellow, James told himself he would have accepted a situation, but Gregory wasn't the very last man for Philly. Besides, he wasn't sure that she liked him, let alone loved him. Okay? So, here you go. So, no, so basically the professor is in love with Philomena. Okay? I met her a couple of times, never actually officially courted her. Okay? And, everyone kind of makes out, when the professor goes to um, Philomena's home, okay, and says, is Sybil, sorry, is Philomena going to marry Gregory? And it was like, well, no, she doesn't even like him, okay? He keeps kind of sniffing around with her, but, no. Okay? Here you go. The professor nodded. Phileas sent him away, but there was a reason for that. I said it wasn't because she intended to marry Gregory. If it was because she thought that he and Sybil were to marry, then it was a misunderstanding must put right. He should have felt disappointed by her reception of him, but driving back to London, he felt elated. Sybil and Gregory were somehow concerned at fabricating the man's assiduous courting of Philly. He must see them as soon as possible. So he dumps Sybil, okay? Says to, no, you're gonna back, you're not in love. I'm done with this joke. I'm done, okay, with the fact, okay, you set Gregory onto Philomena, okay? And I don't love you, Sybil. I'm done with you. That's it, be gone. Okay, that's it, over. That's it, it's over. And so, okay, you'd think, okay, that James would drive straight down there to declare his love for Philomena, okay? He doesn't, okay? He waits a week later. Yeah. Also, is this, okay, when he finds out, okay, about Gregory and Sybil, what they're concocting, he went straight to the hospital. Philly might have been the love of his life, but work was his life too. It was several days before he had the good fortune to meet Sybil and Gregory together. Okay? And then afterwards, it was almost another week before the professor was free to drive to Neverditchin. It was early afternoon by the time he got there, and then he meets Philly in the church and they kiss. Okay? And that's it. It's stupid. It's so, basically, I don't know if Betty Neals was writing this as a parody, okay? The professor, right? Everyone, okay, was like, Philomena, okay, is the good girl, okay, who has never held a job in her life and could never hold a job in her life because she's grew up in a village, well, else all her sisters, okay? Basically, she's like the sated Madonna who works in a Sunday school and takes care of everyone else's children as she yearns to be a mother. It's stupid. I genuinely thought it was a parody. And it was written in 2001. Okay, so there's no excuse. Absolutely no excuse. Okay, it's called Tender Romance. So it's bloody stupid. That's what it is. So anyway, An Ordinary Girl by Betty Neals. Okay, I hate this one with every fibre of my being. You know what, Sean from Sean's Bookcase? If you see this review, you're gonna love. I hope you like this one. Oh, Sean's Bookcase is absolutely cool. I like Sean. She's cool. So, anyway, Annoying Girl by Betty Neals. I'm signing off here. Bye now.